Hey, we had like live music there for a change.
I know. And is it supposed to it was lovely, but is it supposed to be irony for the topic of our show today?
It's not a wonderful world.
It's not. But worth fighting for, right? Isn't that like the
usually
seven? Well,
we always start off with, "Hey, Snow, how are you doing?" And how are we doing? I don't know. I'm just fucking pissed off.
tired?
Tired.
Tired of the same
It's fucking bullshit.
Same
and time
news.
again.
every
Time
day.
and time again.
Same news, different day.
And you think you wouldn't have another Sandy Hook, but no. Yeah, he will. Happens.
And I hate to say it, but I think there's going to be more.
No, nothing will change.
Nothing will change. I think that I was thinking about this, like what would it take for things to change? Because I mean, we have to think about things like there's like the excuse of, oh, it's a mental health issue, but I don't think that mental health is only an America problem. I think every other countries deal with mental health too.
Yeah,
So why aren't
crazy.
they having major mass shooting problems with regards to mental health? I'm just going through the list, and you try to go through each one and say, okay, so what would it take? What could we do? What could make it? Because no one likes to see this. Even if you're a fan of guns, you don't like to see mass shootings happen. I mean, unless you're sick and one of the people who either wants to commit one or you have committed one, and that's the only way I could see. So I was thinking, I'm like, would it have to? I think it might have to happen to every single family. Everybody might need to know what it's like to deal with this. It might have to happen in every single school. It might have to happen in every single church. It might have to happen in every single grocery store. It might have to happen in every single theater. But then I think that then I was thinking, I'm like, there still might be a small percentage of people that still don't care, because I mean, I know someone who lost somebody in the Las Vegas shooting and believes the conspiracy that it was orchestrated to take our guns. His brother is dead, but it was all a setup.
The guy lives local, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All a setup.
We're talking about the same guy.
We are talking about the same person.
Yeah.
We already discussed it when we talked about him. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't think anybody does, and I think that this is America.
Well, no, this is America.
This is the American way of life.
This is as good as it gets.
This is our life.
Yeah, greatest country in the world.
This is number one at mass shootings. Also,
yeah,
number one.
And I was having on social media. I wanted to start the conversation and be like, all right, what's the solution? You tell me what the solution is. And some of the responses I got were from conservatives. An 18-year-old should not have had that gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's true.
Now,
well, guess what? Do you know why he had it? Because in the state of Texas, the governor, Greg Abbott, just passed a bill saying that he was lowering the age to 18.
Was it lowered? I thought it was always 18.
No, it was just done.
Now, you have to be 21 to drink. You have to be 21 to get cigarettes, I think, in most states now.
The whole vape thing, there's like I didn't know that, because I was like, no, that's 18. No, that's
You have to be 25 to rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
All because of responsibility. If you're under these age limits, you're not responsible.
To stay in a hotel? How old do you have to be to stay in a hotel, too? That might be 21 or 25.
I'm not sure on that one.
No.
I mean, there's the argument, well, 18, you're old enough to go into the military and use these kind of weapons.
But that's where the guns should be used.
Well, to counteract that argument, I don't really want any 18-year-old going off to war anyways.
True. I don't want anyone going to war. I don't want our country to be in wars anymore. I want us to I want us to give peace a chance, like John Lennon said. I would like for that.
Yeah, because we're just hippies. But I don't know how many times we have to say that is you and I aren't anti-gun.
No.
But we're anti this fucking bullshit, and nothing ever gets done. It doesn't even go up to vote in the Senate. And, we failed to mention that Norman was the one that played us in.
It's hard for me to speak because my eyes actually just rolled all the way back into my head.
Okay.
Why is that?
Go ahead.
You know what we should do? We should outlaw murder. Let's outlaw murder. And let's prosecute people who murder. And let's quit giving them the glorification of media hype, which we give to these people every time they do this. The media glorifies them. And you may not think it's glory, but they glorify it.
Yeah.
And I'm not done. And Hollywood, the leftist, frickin' anti-gun Hollywood, glorifies gun violence in every movie they make. They glorify gun violence, and they love these school shootings because these are their anti-gun currency. They promote this shit, they glorify it, and then the media glorifies it. You know what these people think before they do a gun shooting? They're going to fucking hear about me. They're going to know who I am now. And what does the media do? I'm not done. Every time the media fulfills that promise.
But not every Hollywood movie has guns in them.
Okay,
there are dramas.
Please
and
tell me
comedies.
that Hollywood does. Every freaking movie poster, and I'm being hyperbolic. Every movie poster has this big phallic gun barrel sticking right out in the forefront, just like a big shiny stainless steel cock.
Oh, yeah.
They glorify it and
glorify
glorify
okay,
it.
fine.
James Bond movie, yeah.
But make them hard to get for regular people. That's make believe. Those are movies.
Make them
hard.
There are
to
600
get.
million guns in this country. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to make them hard to get. Gravity works, and everybody can have a gun. There's 600 million guns in this country.
No, but
it's
but all the excuses though, like the shit about Chicago too. They did studies. They did fine. We're going to take you up on your offer. Those guns weren't coming from Chicago. They can go right over the border into Indiana. Maybe we need to have border checks since Republicans are all for the wall. Build the wall between each fucking state and have them not be able to bring weapons into the ones that don't want them then.
All right, let's break this down though. Let's go to the point of we glorify these people. I'm for you don't give this guy's name out.
Right, yeah.
You don't, yeah.
No, I don't even know what his fucking name is, to be honest, and I didn't go out looking for it.
I know it.
I have no idea what the name is, and I don't care. I don't want to know his name.
Yeah, it's irrelevant what his.
We don't speak his name because he's a cowardly cunt. Ooh,
right.
That's a heavy cuss word. Probably shouldn't use that one.
Fuck it.
He is.
He's a cowardly, and the thing is, this is what this is. I'm gonna. This is the same as when you paint a pro-choice person as being pro-abortion. Nobody's pro-abortion. Nobody wants an abortion. I'm sure they suck. This is like saying gun freedom people are pro. What is there? Somebody standing up waving a sign saying we should kill more elementary school kids?
No.
It is not us. It
saying
is
that.
not us against them as far as.
No one's saying that.
I understand that, but that's the insinuation.
No, because we all know that the only people saying that is the fucking NRA. That's the gun lobbies are the ones saying that. 90% of Americans want background checks. They want gun laws. And like Steve Kerr said, to quote him, the American people are being held hostage by 50 senators. That's it. Who get paid. And I have a list of the amount of, some of them are in the $4 million they've received from the NRA. Some of them are in the $3 million that they've received from the NRA. The $2 million, the $1 million bracket. It goes down from there. Some of them are only in the 500,000s, but guess what? Maybe they're junior senators.
Well, yeah, just like I was saying, was the people that conservatives that did comment on my post were like, yeah, background checks, thorough background checks.
Honest to God, you people are talking. Honest to God, you are people like you're. Okay, it's infuriating to me because I like you guys, so I'm not angry at your persons, but it is so asinine what you are saying. It is as asinine as the drug.
Explain it.
All right.
Explain why it's asinine.
Let me ask you this. Okay.
Because you people don't have any idea how many guns there are out there and how easy it is to get them. No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
There are more guns than people.
No, you don't.
We know that. We know there are more guns than there are human beings in the United States.
It is asinine to even talk about physically controlling guns. It's asinine. It's like saying...
But this was a guy who legally went and bought it. We would know about him.
I'm not sure about that.
It's true. He went and bought it right on his 18th birthday.
Okay.
Look up the facts. Right on his 18th birthday, he went and bought two.
Right now, do you know...
Would it make you feel any better, little girl, if they were illegal guns?
No.
No, I'm saying, tell me, this is another one of the right's talking points, though. You always say that you're not going to stop the people who have guns illegally. Okay, but this one had legal guns. How many of the mass shootings? Fine, let's go through the mass shootings. I wonder how many of them bought their guns legally. The Vegas shooter bought it legally. Bought all of his shit legally.
So then what's your point?
So the mass shootings, they're actually buying legal guns. So if we stop them, wouldn't we stop more mass shootings?
Let's break it down to one. This one, if you raise the age of buying a gun legally in Texas or wherever nationally, he wouldn't have been able to buy a gun legally. The one in Buffalo from last week, 10 days ago, 18 years old too, bought his gun legally. Now, if you raise the age, he wouldn't have been able to purchase a gun legally. Now, to the point, do you know who to go to get a black market gun?
There's no black market gun.
Then where would they be getting them?
Then what's the threat? If there's no black market gun,
you are absolutely lawfully, and first of all, you could never stop anybody from buying and selling. I have bought more guns in parking lots.
Where do you get the illegal guns?
There's not illegal guns. The only legal gun is one that's got its serial number
Then what's the problem? I don't understand.
I don't know what you're asking me.
What's the problem of the background check?
Did anyone ever have trouble getting a bag of dope for the last 40 years that it's been outlawed, or 60 years? Anybody have trouble getting dope?
Personally, I wouldn't know who to go to get a bag of dope. Now I know what store to go to now to get one.
Do you think the laws prevented anyone from getting dope? Because I don't. You meet the McDonald's parking lot. You wait for a guy in a suede jacket to come.
The argument was it's so easy to get guns. Okay, well then maybe if we made it a little bit harder. Well, guns are easy to get. If you're not purchasing it legally, then how do you get one?
How do you get an AR-15 without having to purchase illegally?
You know what? Give me $1,500 and I bet I could have an AR-15 this afternoon. I bet I could. In fact, I'll bring an AR-15. I'll pretend it's. In fact, I'll buy it for $1 and I'll sell it back. I'll go get one right now. Are we good?
I could get one.
Yeah, but of course.
But I would do it legally.
Somebody's going to be like,
it's not illegal. I'm allowed to buy a gun from you.
I'm not saying it's not. We're saying it's legal.
You know, and here's
that's not that's not the point we're trying to make.
So if you trace that gun, where would it go? Okay, let's pretend somebody. No. I'm asking a question because I'm stupid about this.
Please,
okay,
go ahead.
Here's the scenario. So somebody buys an AR-15. They don't do it through an actual gun store. They buy it from somebody. So when that gun gets confiscated and then they go, after they committed this crime, after they committed a shooting, once law enforcement has the gun, then they go do the background check on the gun. Where does it lead to? Does it lead to anyone or like a black hole?
I would submit that, first of all, cops don't give a shit where the gun comes from. If they've got the gun and they took it off the guy that perpetrated the crime, they don't give a shit where the gun came from.
Well, they find out how they found out that this kid bought it legally.
Well, that's because national news needs to glorify it and keep the story out there so you guys...
So we should just pretend like mass shootings don't happen?
Okay, so
there's
and fuck the victims?
No. We should not even know about this. This happened in Texas. It was a tragedy for those frickin' people, but they're making it a national event, and it's not a national event.
So here's another point. It's in Texas. Texas has the most guns out of any state in the United States. Why the fuck aren't they safe? Why aren't they safe by now? Because I want to get on board with any of the things. I want to get on board with we need more guns. We need more good guys with guns, and we could end this problem. Cool. If that's the solution, let's fucking do it. But why can't we even do it in Texas?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because,
I don't know what you tell me how restrictive you want to make our free society, or supposedly free.
There are no restrictions there, and it's not working.
It's simple. just do a thorough background check.
So
Now,
that's so retarded. I mean, this, and you know what? I see aspects of this in all our laws. Our gun laws are obviously made by people that don't know shit about guns. The deadliest weapon on the planet, as far as civilian weapons.
Don't say car.
No. I'm talking about firearms. Don't worry.
Okay.
The deadliest. If I really wanted to go and I've had it, and I'm going to go into the crowded theater, which we need to teach our young men. First of all, we need to bring some fathers into the family so they can teach young men, saying, "Hey, don't be a cunt. Don't shoot unarmed people because it ain't cool. That is not what firearms are for. Firearms are to defend women and children."
In a perfect world,
It's not a perfect world to have a father in the damn family.
Yeah.
But
No,
let me
in a
tell you,
perfect
if I
world,
wanted,
we
if I
could
just wanted to go
accomplish
mass
that.
destruction,
Okay. Just interject this one point that our county supervisor Lingenfelter made that point of where are the fathers in these situations, and that is kind of interesting. That I would bet most of these mass shooters
don't have a father.
don't have a father in their
Right.
lives. Now that's an interesting.
I'm very
point.
surprised you would admit that, you leftist.
What's
It
But-
it is a valid
listen,
point.
I
I
think
mean, it's something to look at because we should be looking at everything.
this is. I'm writing a book called The Tao de Gun, The Way of the Gun, and it will enumerate the shit you don't do with a gun, the embarrassing, ugly, dangerous stuff that people do with guns that is glorified in movies, and it is glorified in movies.
We're not saying it isn't.
And people that say, well, movies and rock and roll, just like the rock and roll songs, how everybody said, well, that makes kids have sex, that makes kids do violence. Listen, if you are saying that movies don't inspire this shit, you are saying that advertising doesn't work, and advertising does work. But I'm going to say it again. The most easily available legal gun to buy and own is a shotgun. And if I wanted to do grievous harm to people in a crowd, I'd use a shotgun. I don't know why these clowns are using AR-15s, because that's a pinpoint weapon. And I guarantee you, unless you're battle-hardened, you cannot pinpoint shoot when you are shaking like a leaf because you're doing your fantasy kill a bunch of kids thing. But a 12-gauge shotgun with some nice double-aught buck, you could... I think this guy got 21
How many
people.
times do you have to reload it?
Oh, you can
A
feed it.
shotgun?
You can feed it while you're shooting it.
Like,
They have
because
semi-automatic
I
shotguns.
think the
You can
reason
feed it while you're shooting. That's not a lie. You don't need to take it. You don't need to take a magazine out or anything. You can boom, 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 and stuff some more shells in it before it's even empty. There are very few weapons you can do that with.
But
lever
how
action.
many can you hold in your hand at the time to go ahead and shove in there?
It's
Or
not like
have
I'm in a
next
hurry.
to
They're
you?
not shooting back because
Yeah,
they've
but
all been disarmed.
They have semi-automatic shotguns too with magazines.
They do. They
Okay.
probably have shotguns. I think they probably have a 20 or 30 round drum.
Yeah.
And there's no weapon that's more. And God, look at me.
Then
I don't even like
why
fantasizing
are all
about
these
this.
people? Why are all these people so in love? Mass shooters. Why do they all seem to be so in love with the AR-15?
The same
Because it looks cool.
Exactly. The same
Oh,
reason
okay.
that the media hates it, because it looks like a spaceman gun. They look ridiculous. I think that I've owned 2 AR-15s, sold them both without ever shooting them, because they're ugly, they're plasticky, they're modern. Anyway, it just offends me that people are going to make the pro-gun freedom argument the pro-school shooting argument, and that's the insinuation. I'm not going to. That's the insinuation.
That's not what we're saying. I know that there's plenty of folks who like to shoot just because it's fun. There are people who like to hunt. There are people who want it for home protection that have never used their gun yet. I am fine with all of that. I am not equating that with that. All I'm saying is there should be at least some rules. There should be at least some well regulated.
As dramatic as the thought, and dramatic and tragic as the thought of children being shot at, as terrible as that is, it is significantly. I'm sorry. It's statistically nothing. It is tragic for those people. Absolutely. Statistically, kids. Do you want to scare all kids to go to school? And that's what they're doing. It's a minuscule percentage.
Okay, since you're liking statistics,
shit, you'll die of COVID first.
Then let's look up children versus so many years ago versus today, and their leading causes of death. Like, if you're looking up statistics,
gun
is.
violence is absolutely. It may be the leading cause.
When
of death.
you add more guns into something, when you get more of something, you're
possibly
going to
add
have more.
I don't see how we could have more guns. You can't have any
You're
more
going to
guns.
have more stuff happening, though. I mean,
okay. Add more guns. Okay, so one solution is, well, let's arm the teachers.
That's asinine too.
Okay,
Although
Yes.
I don't.
It doesn't work.
However, I do think that in my fantasy world, every woman carries a gun. Everyone and every man carries a gun. I would like to see that world where when you see somebody with a gun, it's like, yeah, of course he has a gun. He's a human being. He has the right to defend himself. I wish everyone carried a frickin' gun. I really do. And I also wish, contemporaneously, if that's the right word, at the same time, we had an almost religious reverence to the fact that you leave that gun in that holster. You always leave it in the holster. You don't pull your frickin' gun. You have an argument where you
We can't. The problem is we can't get people on the same page about anything. Look at the
Leave the
fucking
damn thing
country.
I used to have a concealed carry permit, but I rarely did I actually carry it. Now sometimes I left it in my car because there would be no situation that I think I could have made better by pulling out. Say if I'm in.
Oh no, I agree completely. I hear you loud.
Say if I'm in Smith and some guy breaks out a gun and starts shooting people. Am I really gonna make that better?
No, I agree. And very many people that carry a firearm, they do have that fantasy situation where, and I think we've all done it. That fantasy situation where I get to be the hero
Because of the advertising.
I
of
agree. It's
movies.
unlikely. I agree. It's unlikely. However, I will say this: I think if everybody had a gun, the mentality of any
A deterrent.
potential, I think it would be a huge deterrent. Because what we need to remember is, overwhelmingly, most of us are good people. Most of us don't want to hurt anybody.
Right. And that's why I agree with you on the advertising. I think
Until this conversation started.
I think we need more. I think we should. I know it would be tough for the parents to do, but I think that they should do what Emmett Till's mom did and decide to just do show us the pictures. Because I think while people love their guns and rightfully so, and and I agree with all that, I think a lot of people don't realize what it actually does to the human body.
Now,
and if they had that, maybe they would think,
on
maybe
that-
it would give them a little more of
on that
empathy.
Point, okay, the second, third, and fourth graders. It was 19 because he went into one room and I guess it was in this one classroom.
19 babies.
They had to go out and get DNA from the parents to identify the bodies because he was left in there. We'll talk about this in a minute. Why he was left in there for almost an hour and a half.
Because the cops were cowering outside.
We'll get into that. We'll get into
I'm
that.
going to cower outside.
We're getting there.
But think about that. He was left in there he bought 320 rounds of ammunition, and just to keep on shooting a second, third, or fourth grader so many times that they had to use DNA to identify the bodies. How demented is that?
Well, you know what? I bet a couple of those little kids probably mouthed off to him.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing too, though. With a AR-15, what it does to the body, though, that's why they always talk about. You'd be ridiculous to use it for hunting. No, it goes in.
That's nonsense.
But it leaves a. They've had medical doctors say that it pulverizes bones.
I don't even agree with your
destroy
premise.
organs.
Anybody who's saying that the Second Amendment exists so we can go hunting doesn't understand what the Second Amendment is for.
See, this is why we need to show pictures, though, because even someone like you doesn't know what it would look like.
Do you think the horrifying thought of children getting?
I don't think
everyone should see what this looks like.
Of us are saying that the Second Amendment was based on hunting. That's not what it's about.
It wasn't. It was based on the slave patrols. That's what it was for.
Oh, for God's sakes.
That's what well-regulated meant.
Okay,
it was slave patrols.
Okay.
That's what it
Damn,
started
the Second
as.
Amendment was written 100 years before the...
Look it up.
Oh, that's nonsense. What you're saying is nonsense.
Let's use...
You're talking about the Civil War era slave patrols?
Yes.
Slaves existed a long time before
the slaves.
The slaves were here in the 1600s.
When the slaves tried to run off and escape for their freedom before the whole Civil War.
I think you guys are slaves to a shoddy education is what I think. Okay.
Right.
That was ad hominem. That's not cool.
Okay. All right.
Just look it up.
Riddle me this. A well-regulated militia. What is the definition of regulated? Regulations.
And I appreciate
the right
the vagary.
hates regulations.
Yes, the Constitution is written poorly. There's too much left.
No. And they did that on purpose because they were freaking lawyers.
They made amendments too so that it can be changed.
I have a personal belief in what regulated means, and you're not going to.
Okay, what do you think regulated means though? Okay, let's define it.
in those, well, and I could be, I'm going to get blown away for this because there's no way. It's the Top Gun argument. Do you remember they called each other regulators?
That's Young Guns.
Did I say Top Gun?
Yeah.
I guess Maverick's on my mind. I just watched Top Gun Maverick.
How was it?
I give it a C+.
Okay.
Visually spectacular.
Most people say it's a lot, it's
Better?
good reviews.
But most people are more. I sat there and I was.
Yeah.
Okay, he's supposedly.
People are morons.
Well, anyway,
Okay, but
right.
Regulation. Regulators.
You
Young
call
Guns.
the regular army is a word that means a specific thing when you're talking about troops, and a regular can also be referred. I could be a regular, an army regular, and it means something specific. And what I'm saying is a well-regulated militia. I think it means a well-staffed militia.
Yeah, but regulations. Okay.
No, I appreciate what I listen.
Well, rules abiding.
Well, okay, let's start with the first regulation.
Means, right?
Let's not shoot kids. Can we agree on that regulation? Okay.
Why would they say a well-armed, well-staffed militia?
Being necessary to the of a free society. Maybe we should look up the words. Being necessary.
Okay. Look up the definition of regulated.
Well-regulated militia was because we didn't have a military back then, so it was.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be
being
a
necessary to the security of a free
militia.
state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Wait. That's not. I wanted the definition of regulated. Just that one word, regulated.
I understand what you think it means in 2022. I understand that.
Well, why don't we just go with what Webster's dictionary says it means?
Yeah, that's all we want.
Textbook.
Look up the
definition
Webster's
of
dictionary
it.
for 1790 or whenever this.
Just look it up what it says for regulated. What the definition says. Because we could be wrong. Maybe we're wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
I'm going to start with the phrase regular army.
Regular army. About armies, though.
Regular army refers to full-time active component of the United States Army. I know what you think. Regular. It's not a mystery. We say regulated all the time.
You look
we
up
think
what
about,
regulate
We think about
means.
more rules.
Okay. We just want
to... we just want to know what the actual word regulate means.
Oh, I got Army regulations as well.
Okay. Well,
Does that mean Army rules? Like the rules of the Army?
I just told you what I thought it meant.
Isn't the Constitution the rules of the United States?
Okay.
We follow rules. Stop with the fucking we need to deregulate.
Okay. You think so?
The definition, by the Oxford Dictionary. Regular.
That's the English. Oxford is in England. I would rebel.
Yeah, England doesn't have mass shootings.
They don't have balls either.
So control or maintain the rate or speed of a machine or process so it operates properly. Now, that would be a point in his corner.
Right.
Okay. The second one, this is why the fucking Constitution is written poorly.
Not poorly.
Control or supervise by means of rules and regulations is the second meaning of that. So we are technically both right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Right.
There's nobody standing on the side of killing children. Nobody's on that side.
We're not saying that anybody's for that.
But the general argument, maybe not here, but the general argument seems to be, and California's only a few miles away. We could go out there and interview those clowns. They will say that people who are pro Second Amendment are on the side that supports school shootings.
Right, and just as you said,
it's nonsense.
And the people that are pro-choice are pro-abortion.
Right.
I haven't heard anyone from California say that.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard them come out and say this is what California is saying. I mean, I think what you're doing is trying to explain about California the way I was trying to explain about Texas.
Look,
why the fuck isn't it safe?
Okay, I'm gonna go after this.
Should be the safest.
I've got to go do anything else, but if you the only way that
Apparently
the
you
only
can't
way
have
you're
a
effectively going to get
conversation.
guns out of the population's hands is to go door to door and start collecting them. And I
That's
guarantee
not
you,
going to
if
happen.
you want to see what grievous injuries guns will do to people, go door to door and start collecting them.
Wait,
Other than that, it's an
That's
asinine.
not
It's an
what
asinine
we're
suggestion to control
saying,
guns.
though.
That's not what we're advocating for either.
See, this is why you can't have this conversation. Because,
I know.
no offense. I'm going to take my toys and leave the room.
Right. Yeah.
Oh no! Sunset only happens at one time, and I got to take a photograph down the street.
Yeah.
Well, sunset, it's not
Okay.
sunset.
The magic hour is a half hour before and
Wait.
after sunset.
You can't do it tomorrow?
When am I going to do it tomorrow?
You can do it tomorrow.
What? Tell me how I'm going to do it tomorrow. We're not going to be here tomorrow.
You can still. The sun's only in Kingman?
No, the Buick is only on Chestnut Street.
Oh, well, go do that then.
I just gave away our location.
I know. You suck for being so paranoid about having a cell phone, having people tracking you. You suck at it. You give yourself up.
By the way, the sun goes down and close to 8 o'clock right now.
Loose lips sink a ship.
It's 6:36 as we speak.
Loose lips sink ships. That's all I'm just gonna say.
Look, seriously.
7:42 p.m.
Seriously, we're...
However, because we live in a ditch, the sun goes behind the mountains about...
Okay, well, is it a ditch? We're actually on it. Well, I know. I don't want to say anything.
For God's sakes, there are... That's west.
Yeah.
And there are mountains.
West is down
And the
for
sun
me
goes
though.
behind those
I'm on the
mountains way
hill.
earlier than
Hey,
it
look,
sets.
we could all
I'm
agree
on the
one
hill
thing.
though. The
God
west is
sakes.
down for me. So down there, the sun might
Okay.
go down earlier.
The sunsets are fabulous in Arizona. I will give it that.
They are. They're one of the good things about the desert. It's not the
And I
brown,
like-
dead-looking plants
like-
everywhere.
Photographing sunsets, too. How do you do it? Like, do you have a camera?
For fuck's sake. I
What?
swear to God.
That's the question.
I'm not photographing any fucking sunset. Why would anybody try and photograph a sunset? Photographing a sunset, to me, if the sunset is lovemaking, photographing it is pornography. Trying to capture a sunset on film, Ansel Adams, go fuck yourself. It's impossible. I'm photographing a piece of shit Buick and my sweaty face so I can... See,
Do you
now it's
think-
going to sound
Do you
ridiculous.
think
Wait,
Ansel Adams
wait,
is
wait,
being...
wait,
Wait a second.
No, wait, let
Do
me
you
finish
think
this.
Do you think Ansel
Wait.
Adams is being ironic though? Because his stuff is always in black and white.
So I can so I can attach this picture of me with this old Buick to Coat Wolf Productions in California to try and get them to help me with my movie script for the Top Gun prequel. Now that sounds
okay.
that makes it sound ridiculous.
Okay, and so in your prequel, you'll get into what happened to Maverick's mom,
Oh, absolutely. And all my suspicions
and
have
that's
been confirmed.
90% of the story.
No, that's just the third act. It's all about
Third act is Maverick's. Whatever happened to
And
Maverick's mom.
have you contacted any people yet who have anything to do with the Top Gun family?
I refuse to answer that question.
I realize you're not on trial here,
I contacted
but-
Jack Epps, and he said that there was no backstory for Maverick's mom.
Do you think you'll be able to sit down with Tom
And-
Cruise to sell this?
He's
story?
not in this movie.
Yeah, but I'm sure he has control of
No,
the
he doesn't.
character.
No. Anybody can write a movie about other characters.
You looked up the legal to doings before?
Okay.
None of these characters have appeared in any of these movies.
Who do you have to play young Tom Cruise?
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. He's going to be 6 years old. At the end, he's
Young
just...
Maverick.
Huh? Yeah, no, he's not even in the story. He's irrelevant to the story. It's all about his mom and his dad.
Now, did the guy...
Don't get me wrong. Every trope and cliche that you've ever seen in a movie is going to be in there. Because this movie is all tropes and cliches. They redid every scene.
So you're writing
was
this-
Was Maverick's dad a pilot?
Absolutely.
I
He
forget.
was lost November 5th, 1965.
It's in the original Top
In a
Gun.
secret mission. I mean, have you even seen the movie?
Yes.
That's why he got a
Hello?
hold of this. That's why he got a hold of this
excuse me.
writer. But now, so you don't accept what the writer says, so that's why you're making your own movie.
Once the art leaves the writer's pen, it's no longer his. It's no longer his.
I'm just saying, you don't like the answer he gave you, so you're not
All
accepting
I'm saying
that.
is, I don't know if Quentin Tarantino knows what was in the briefcase, but I know what was in the briefcase.
Have you tried to email?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he knows.
I think Tarantino came out and said what was in the briefcase.
What did he say?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
It doesn't matter what he says. I'm going to look it up.
Because that's in your interpretation of it.
I know what it says. He's wrong if it's anything but what I say is.
Even if he's the creator of this movie,
Yep.
he's wrong and you're right.
Here's why, because it's not explicitly put into the movie. If it's not explicit in the movie, the interpretation is open. And even he said that countless times. He said it's open to your interpretation. But I know what's in it, and here's why. Because Tim Roth looks in it and he says, is that what I think it is?
And what is it?
I'm not going to fucking tell you people. You're unwashed.
I already know what you think it is.
Neither one of you is even circumcised. Oh, she does know what I think it is. I know. It's
the Maltese Falcon.
It's the Maltese Falcon. It's the gold Maltese Falcon. The MacGuffin inside it.
And that's why it was
not the
shining
fake
when he
one.
opens it up.
Do you know what the Maltese Falcon is?
Yes.
See,
because the real one they never met.
And when he opens it, he goes, holy... And they're in L.A. Everybody knows everything about movies, supposedly in L.A. He goes, holy shit, is that what I think it is? It's the fucking Maltese Falcon.
And that's why it's golden and sparkling. That's why... I agree with you, but I wonder if Quentin Tarantino would be like, that's exactly what it is. And then he'd be like, oh my God.
What else... Thinking it's Marcellus's soul is ridiculous because none of us would know what a soul looks like, and we wouldn't say
no.
Marcellus didn't die though.
I said, well, yeah, no, but his soul was removed. So the thing is that his soul was removed from the back of his neck. Somebody came up with that bullshit idea. You haven't heard this?
What?
You've heard this?
Okay,
that's stupid.
That's bullshit.
I've never heard that, but okay.
All right. So are you gonna like?
He got the soul fucked out of him.
Tarantino dialogue in your Maverick prequel?
I don't know why. No, I don't know what you mean.
That's what Tarantino's famous for, is dialogue.
I don't think it would sell because the Maverick, the Top Gun dialogue is so, it's just so clumsy and so, it's like 110 IQ.
I feel the need.
Yeah, just. But the thing is, among military people, they really do talk like that, especially when they drink. They start bringing out all their jingo. Is it jingoism or lingo? They bring out all their jargon because they love to exclude the civilians so they can talk their bullshit military jargon. Believe me, I did it. I participated in it. My dick was smaller then. Hard to imagine.
Yeah. Great to know.
All right.
Oh God!
So moving on.
You pissed me off so much.
So
moving on from that.
You tapping out?
Huh?
You tapping out?
Oh no, I haven't gotten
What
confirmation.
time do you have to go?
I haven't gotten confirmation from my photographer.
What time do you have to go?
Wait a minute,
do
you
your
can go
picture?
with me. How long is this going to go?
Photo
It's 6:42 now. When's this going to be over? When is this frickin' crucifixion?
I don't know.
We have a little bit more to. Don't I have to
she's
read
got a set
the
list.
10?
No, but
God is coming in to read the 10 Commandments.
But we didn't get to the good guy with a gun part in this particular shooting, which did absolutely nothing to stop this.
In fact,
Wait,
in
was
the
there a
Buffalo,
good guy with a gun in this?
Yes.
yeah,
Who was he? Tell me.
There was.
I'm willfully ignorant of this because it's not my business.
it was also the police too, to some degree.
So
cowering outside.
So
Yes.
he posts on social media, I'm going to shoot my grandmother. Next post.
Did he shoot his grandmother first?
Yes.
This is
Shot her
exactly
in
like
the
the.
face.
Then he said,
This is the same as
his
the-
next post was, I shot my
grandmother, bragging about it.
Next post
Shot
is,
grandma.
I'm going to a school to do a shooting.
Did not shoot my.
okay, and so whatever happened
no.
on his way to the school, he crashes his truck
He was probably nervous.
near the school. He gets out with his gun, and there was a school security officer there. I don't know if the officer was
I've got it. I figured.
Yeah, they're an independent company.
was that officer, was the school officer armed?
Yeah,
No,
they tried to shoot at
and-
it. He was wearing body armor too.
And didn't he crash because the police were behind him?
That I don't know. But he was able to get into the school because, well, like Fox News says, the school has way too many doors. So he was able to get into a back door. That was what they actually
A
used
light just came on for me.
as an excuse.
The reason you've got to admit, all of us, every fucking person in this, at least in America, probably anyone, where did we first get our feelings hurt by society? Where was our inner child first hurt? In school. When
This kid was bullied.
No, wait. Yeah, no, and wait. That thing about him killing his grandmother, that is so reflective of the Austin shooting back in the early 60s. He killed his...
reflective of
he
the
killed his mom
Sandy
for-
Hook.
No, fuck. He didn't. Did he kill his mom first?
Yes.
Yes!
Did he really?
He murdered his mom.
Holy
she died.
shit, I think
and
he
then
died
he
of-
went and shut up the school. Where have you... Do you live under a rock?
I do not want something from New London, Connecticut. I've got enough worms in my head from New London, Connecticut, or Sandy Hook, Connecticut.
Well, then maybe
I've got enough worms in my brain over fucking Connecticut. That
Well,
I
then
don't,
maybe before
I-
you
it is
have
none
so
of my
many
business.
opinions, learn more
It is
about
none
what
of
you're
my business what
talking
happened, what
about.
tragedies befall people that I've never
You have
met.
better arguments though when you're already informed, and then you
Well, it only
can
goes
go
on.
in better with your side.
There is a pattern.
to do the
with
debate.
there's a pattern with hatred for your mother. There's matricide, and then there's going
Well,
to schools
Norman,
to kill.
that was addressed in the movie Psycho.
It is all coming full circle. We
See?
need.
See what I did there?
I saw it. So,
I'm trying to think. What was Norman?
Yeah,
Bates?
so-
Who played Norman Bates? What was his name? Anthony Perkins.
Yeah.
Anthony
Yeah.
Perkins.
Yep.
We need to outlaw Anthony Perkins.
He died a long time ago.
And Ray
Who was probably
Liotta died
preserved
today.
in some. Oh, Ray
Huh?
Liotta.
Ray Liotta died today.
What?
Yes.
He's not even that old.
67. He was filming a movie in Dominican Republic and passed away in his sleep.
At least he went peacefully in his
At least he
sleep.
didn't go in Haiti.
What are you doing, Karen? Karen, that's a great movie. Goodfellas.
Gun violence glorification.
Yeah, no.
It's the how are you going to have a movie about the mafia and not have guns in it?
Okay, all right. Now, just get back to that point, then we'll get back to the police in this situation. Yes, I was watching this movie, Ambulance, another Jerry Bruckheimer film. It's horrible. But yes, I was watching it last night going, God damn, there's a lot of fucking guns in this fucking movie.
There are a lot of guns in, and I'm not saying that they don't glorify and put ideas into people's heads. I mean, advertising does work, especially in the advertising works so well. Why do you think so many people want to come to America? They all say the same thing too. They're like, well, the way you guys advertise it on TV, though, it's like there's Baywatch, and you know they see all this stuff. They're like, fuck yeah, I want to come to America. It's in the advertising. That's why.
Yeah. Oh.
Look at these good-looking people.
Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Look at the gun violence. Look at them.
Yeah.
Look at the phallic nature of this.
We're not saying it's
I know.
not.
This is Ray Liotta getting shot in the head. Is my point.
But here's the thing, though, too. A friend of mine, I have never seen
Look
people.
at that. Look at that. The gun. It's so phallic. It's so powerful. Look how much.
I get
power.
it.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm trying to make a point about this specific thing.
Trying to
I
make
have
it for the
never,
last 5 years.
I have never in my life seen somebody get shot in front of me, shoot themselves in front of me. I've never seen someone get hit by a bullet in real life. However, I have a very good friend who did. And he told me, he goes, we were down in, I forget which part of Mexico. I want to say it was either Cancun or Mexico City. He was in a restaurant. The cartel came in and they had someone to kill. So they shot him in the restaurant in broad daylight. He goes, what people don't understand is that people dying in real life from guns does not look like what it looks like in the movies. It is not like that. That is not what it looks like. It is so much more horrible. The shit you have to hear he goes, number one, they don't die right away. They don't fucking just die. It's not like that.
Gasping for air and. Did you remember the story?
They should start showing the real thing. They should. Quite honestly, it's in the advertising.
Do you remember the story that Peter told us about his boss getting shot and he was there? I think he said it on the podcast once, but he was writing on Facebook earlier, and he was describing just the smell in the air. The smell of gunpowder, the smell of the blood.
Somebody's read Stephen King.
No, this actually happened to him.
I appreciate
so
that.
You can't diminish what happen to somebody.
Dramatizing this stuff, making it your own tragedy when it has nothing to do with you. That is what the media does to us, and that's what we're doing here, and I think it's ridiculous.
See, this is why I say during the opening, it is going to have to happen every single where before anything is done.
And we're not...
And you're still going to have, like, the fringe, 31% who are going to not believe what the majority believes, or they don't want to believe. They want to do what they want to do. They don't want to have anything. They do not want to have any sort of inconvenience by any of this. I mean, this is my plea to Republican lawmakers. These parents who lost their children, who got blown away by this school massacre, they didn't have an abortion. They had their kids. Why won't you protect them? They did everything that you wanted them to do.
Well,
why can't you? Why did you let them die?
You have certain reps who, like this guy in Florida, Randy Fine, who comes out and immediately says, basically threatens Biden, and like, hey, if you come for my guns, we're going to show you what the Second Amendment
is all about. Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't think in that moment, though. Now, to critique Biden a little bit, maybe I shouldn't have said ban on assault weapons in that particular speech right afterwards, because that's just going to get everybody all riled up in their corners.
But there was a ban on assault style weapons.
Right.
It got under George W. Bush. It never got reinstated. He let it lapse.
Right.
So statistically, that is why we have way more mass shootings now than we did. We didn't have as many back then. But then it lapsed. So here we are. And we can't get it passed again. No one can. It's not going to get passed. So I don't know why we're even talking about this. This is where we live. This is who we are. This is what America is about. Hey, advertising, folks that think America is so great, this is what America's really like. Forget about the advertising. We love our mass shootings. This is what we're doing. We're all complicit to it, I guess. I mean, because it's not going to change.
Let's get back to the good guy with the gun thing, though. So the police were outside the school for like 90 minutes while this guy was barricaded behind the school.
Nice. There's some manly ass cops there.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit and cower. I'm going to sit here and cower behind it.
You should see the footage.
It's embarrassing.
Right, and then wasn't it the actual, I had heard that it was the actual border control that stopped, that went in?
Yeah, and...
So doesn't it show people our border control is tough?
It took them 30 minutes to unlock the door.
Pussies.
Now, why don't they have a battering ram?
Battering ram? I drive my Crown Vic through that damn thing. You know they can take a shot in the nose.
Yeah, hey, I do.
Also, let us revisit the Austin shooting. And I think it was mid-60s. The men that went up and took him down, he's up in a bell tower.
The school shooting.
The men that took him down, those were men. It was some civilian, and they were all terrified. It was three men. I think it was three men went up there. I think it was two cops and a civilian.
Okay, then...
And they went up there, and they did what had to be
I saw a documentary on that.
But he got 13 people, and he had... No, anyway.
But anyway, there's video footage of the parents pleading with these police outside.
Go save my children.
And then you can see the cops' hands are on their tasers because the parents are going, you're not going in, we're going in. And the police...
They were worried about their careers. They were worried about disobeying protocol.
Now, here's the thing. Why was Border Patrol called in?
It's halfway between Corpus Christi and San Antonio. What is Border Patrol doing there?
No, it was close to the border.
I did look at you.
There's a rumor that Governor Greg Abbott was having the Texas Rangers ID the parents to make sure that they were illegally allowed to be here, or he was to have them deported. There's a rumor that what did I just say? I said it's a rumor.
But our representatives for this area, Paul Gosar, said this guy was an illegal alien, transsexual leftist that committed this. And then he
deleted his tweet. So in all fairness, he got rid of the tweet. Okay.
Oh, I stand correct. It's
But at least he got to
Now,
put it out
now
there.
you want to think of some crazy shit. I'm just throwing this out there, and you're gonna say it's fucking nuts. Why was Border Patrol called? Because
it is 50. It's about 50. It is 50 miles.
Because they would have a hard on. The right would have a hard on if this guy was an illegal alien, went in and shot up a school, and then they could blame Biden.
So you'll agree that people exploit these kids' deaths for their political agendas.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And can we agree that that's disgusting?
Yes, absolutely.
But the thing is, everybody only thinks it's disgusting when the other side does it.
We're not saying that.
Yeah, there's a school
Fucking, we call out
When
fucking
did we
the
say
left.
when did we say that on the show?
We have never fucking advocated for the taking away of anyone's guns.
Never. We like
Oh
to shoot
my
guns.
fucking god!
We have never.
This is what schools are doing now. This is what schools are doing. They're putting out empty chairs, 21 empty chairs. They're actually trying to make this their tragedy to show what virtuous people they are. I put 21 empty chairs in my schoolyard. Is that not the most exploitive? Just dumbing down, and then people are saying thoughts and prayers for your empty chairs.
Well, thoughts and
That's
prayers
what-
is fucking bullshit.
Thoughts and prayers and empty chairs.
I wish thoughts and prayers worked. That hasn't worked either. They've sent every time this happens, we have loads of Congress folks who send thoughts and prayers, and thoughts and prayers has never worked.
See, we're gonna fucking agree. Nothing is
never
going
worked.
to fucking change. This will happen time and time
Yes,
and
Because
time.
the
and time.
same
it's gonna
exact
right, but
condolences.
The impression that we get that this is a commonplace thing is nonsense. There's 330 million assholes in this country.
It's not
A
that,
couple of- a
though.
couple
It's
of them are gonna
not
do some
that.
stupid
It has
shit.
nothing to do with the regular average person. It has to do with the same thing. Remember when we talked about the fucking... the fossil fuel industry is not going to give up the $600 billion, what's the word, subsidy that they get. The NRA... The gun lobby, the gun manufacturers, they are not going to give up the money. So it's all about the money. The politicians who accept the money from them are not going to give that up.
Right.
So it doesn't
Right.
matter
So-
what you or I think. It does not fucking matter what we think.
So let's fucking go
because
back.
we don't have money to buy them off.
Let's go back because I just addressed what Biden said after that. He said, well, maybe we should ban assault weapons. Now, let's go to the previous one. Parkland.
Not going to work.
Parkland. The president said, and if you can guys can guess who the president was at the time, I'll give you bonus points.
I'm going to try.
The president said, I believe in taking the guns first.
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Exactly.
I remember when he said it. It was a huge blunder.
Yes, but
He
those
was trying
were
to
his
do it
true
to get a
feelings.
deal with
Yeah,
Nancy
those were
Pelosi so
his
he didn't
right
get
feelings.
impeached.
And here-
No, it was a deal to not get impeached. That is what it was for. It was a deal. He was trying to sway Nancy Pelosi to not go through with
But
impeachment.
who had a private meeting in the Oval Office with the president the very next day? The NRA.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And
Because
his messaging changed after that
because
meeting.
the
So
NRA
who
used to
controls
be
the country?
the
Who controls the
NRA
country?
used to be a decent
I'm not saying the
organization.
NRA.
When
NRA
Michael Moore was in it?
Used to be a decent organization. It used to be a club for sportsmen who like to shoot and hunt and whatnot. Now it is merely turned into a vehicle for the gun manufacturers. That's all it is. It does not give a fuck. And I will say this, if anyone, I will bring up the name Philando Castile. If they gave a fuck about legal gun ownerships, they would have stood up when Philando Castile claimed to be a legal gun
Right,
owner,
right.
and they fucking murdered him.
Let's ask Norman this. Do you know who we're talking about? So we can give you some background.
You know who
I
we're
was out of the
talking
room. I
about?
just heard a bunch of shrill
Philando Castile.
vocalization.
Okay. So
Was he a Mexican president
no,
or something?
he was a
He was
he
the
was a
black
black
guy
man
who was shot
Who he wasn't
He
the
was the
driver of the vehicle.
passenger
He
of
was
the
passenger
vehicle.
of the
His girlfriend was driving, and her daughter was in the back seat. This was in Minnesota, and they killed him.
Okay,
The
okay,
police
I understand.
killed
Okay,
him.
I understand. Go
Just
ahead.
to get to the point. Is he's a pastor, but he gets pulled over. And what's a responsible thing to do if you're carrying a gun and you get pulled over? Officer, I
am a
gun.
legal gun owner. I have a permit. Tried to give it to them. They shot him.
Why are we talking about this as if it's something that happened? Is that a tragedy for those people? Tragedy, absolutely. Was that cop an absolute asshole?
Because
absolutely.
we're
Because
talking.
we learn from them.
Because-
For fuck's sake, it doesn't. Statistically, that shit doesn't happen.
But it happens.
Statistically, it doesn't
one
happen.
in a
No,
million.
you
but
sound
it
like
happens.
you don't want to hear about it because you're like, I don't want to have to deal with
No,
this.
I don't
I
think-
want
well,
nothing
I don't think we make
infringing
policy
on
for one
me.
person.
Point-
We don't make
Nothing
national policy
infringing
for
on
one
me.
person
what we're talking
or
about.
1% of the
That's
people.
not what we're talking about. What we were talking about is if that guy was white and he got shot being a legal gun owner, the NRA would have stood up and fucking thrown a fit. That's what we're talking about. That's all we're talking
You're
about.
wrong. You're wrong, and I'm going to give.
Then
you,
why didn't they? Why didn't they? They said nothing.
Could you scream a little louder? In my
They
ear,
said
please?
nothing.
Could you please?
This is passion. I don't know what else to tell you.
The NRA, and you got me sitting here. You put me in a position to defend the NRA, and that's not a position I want
No,
to be.
we're not asking you to defend the NRA.
There-
Your views do not
There
reflect
are
the views of the NRA.
there are many monthly documented cases where the good guy with the gun wins. The media does not report that. They don't. They
No.
Why wouldn't
if-
Tucker Carlson?
if-
Then what is wrong with Tucker Carlson?
Do you think he's not being puppeteered as well?
No.
Why
If-
do you people think?
Why wouldn't they pump
No.
out these stories though all
Yes,
the time?
yes,
They would be
yes.
like every day to counter. They would be like,
Yes.
"This is what happened here, though. Good guy with gun. Everyone praised him."
Yes,
They fucking would do it.
If that school security officer shot that kid dead before he walked in, it would be absolutely all
It
over
would
Fox.
be everywhere. They would be like, "This is what we are talking about." The reason why they use the good guys with the gun thing because they know it's bullshit. They know it's bullshit.
And in
They
this-
know everything
and-
they say
and
is
in-
bullshit,
and
but
in this-
they're doing it through advertising. They're advertising to a certain group of people because I would love to look up. I bet you anything that there has been record gun sales after this shooting because people are flipping out thinking
Okay.
they're going to get them taken away.
So basically, at the time of Parkland, there was basically 300 million guns, basically one gun for every
I don't
person.
know how you think I don't know how you think that statistic is accurate. Because let me tell you what, nobody knows how nobody knows how many guns I got. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Let me
Why you have ghost guns?
Oh God, ghost guns. I love that's such a great term. Ghost gun.
It's a
Oh,
gun
it's a
without a
ghost-
serial number.
it's a
Okay, I'll say it
ghost
that
gun.
way. A gun
You know,
without a serial number.
An
Is that-
unserialized gun.
Okay.
Let's say it more
Oh, God.
complicated.
Anyway, since Parkland,
I've never
Yeah,
seen a
but-
ghost gun in my life.
okay. Again, and yes, and I don't
So
know,
they must not exist.
and I don't know where
I've
to
never
go.
seen a ghost either.
Kind of like God.
And
like,
I don't
you've
know
never
where to
seen
go
God,
purchase-
so it's like,
Oh,
why are
no.
so many people into
I don't know
that?
where to go purchase a gun without going through a dealer.
Well, then you shouldn't be talking logic. This is not a.
That is logic.
Then you
I
should-
don't know
then
where
you
to go
should-
buy a gun
then
without
you
going to a
shouldn't-
dealer.
Then you
What if
shouldn't-
he's saying,
then you
I want to
shouldn't
buy a
presume
gun,
to
where
have
can I
any
get
concept.
one without having to go to a gun store to get them? Where do you get these?
God damn it! I just bought.
Where do you
I
get
bought
'em?
that 357 word of mouth. And this was a month ago. This isn't like, hey, I hear Bill's selling some guns. I said, well, shit, and a shotgun. I bought that 357 and a shotgun.
Okay, but
cash
what,
and carry.
but
Went
what
to the guy's
is,
house.
what
Bought the
is
damn guns.
supposed to happen if you're a responsible gun owner
Go ahead.
is that you go and you do the
I
transaction.
don't know why you think. I don't know why you think that's even close to a rule between gun owners.
It is. If you sell a gun,
Do you really think that that's the
personal,
law?
oh, if you were to sell
Do
me a
you
gun,
really think that that's the truth? You're supposed to go register it because you're wrong.
no. If you were to sell me the gun,
Right.
the way to do it is that We go to a gun store
Well,
and
you're
we
wrong.
fill
I don't
out
know
the
why you
paperwork.
think
No, that is how
That
it
has
is
never been
supposed
done in the
to work.
history of gun sales between men ever.
It's
That's the most
supposed to be.
asinine. Why do you think?
Look it up.
Look it up. How? I've
Okay,
You got a
probably-
computer in front of you.
I bet I've had
have
500 guns in my life.
I have a
have never
question.
gone and said, as a matter of fact,
You
I have a
have never
question.
registered a gun?
I have a question.
Never.
Okay, if
Never.
somebody,
You have
I've
never
probably bought,
registered a
I've
gun.
probably bought 4 guns from a dealership and filled out the federal paperwork.
Right.
And if you think,
Are you supposed to do
no,
that?
you're not. Why would you think you're supposed? Tell
Yes,
me.
you're
need
supposed
Oh,
to
for
do
God's
that.
sakes, tell me why you think that that's even close
we
to
need
the
to
law.
have
Because
we
you're
need to
wrong.
have like
I-
someone who
yeah.
knows
Why would you
law,
think
like
that's
a
a law?
lawyer.
Why would you think that's
We
even
need to have a lawyer or a police officer
law-
come on here.
The-
No, because I want to ask a question. Okay, if
Okay,
a crime
okay.
is committed, let's say that somebody murders somebody, throws the gun in a ditch. Aren't they going to try when they go and fucking find this gun?
Yes.
Walk me through the process of that. Then, how do they find out whose gun this is?
They start with say it's a Colt 38 serial number 5.
Correct.
And they go to Colt and they say, "Hey Colt, who got serial number 538?" And it went to Joe's gun shop in Minnesota. And they go to Joe's gun shop and they say, "Hey Joe, we need to look through your files and see who you sold gun number 5 to." He said, "Well, I sold that gun in 1964. And here's the paperwork. It went to John Smith. He's been dead for fucking 45 years. What happened to it after that? How the fuck would I know? That was fucking 50 years ago." And that's how that trail ends.
Okay.
So then they're just like,
okay,
sorry, we're not
Joe's
solving
kid
the
inherited
murder.
it. And then
Okay.
Joe's kid left it in his drawer, and his wife said, "I don't want this here." And she gave it to her Aunt Sally.
No,
Okay,
but
okay,
so what
maybe-
happens? What if Joe? So you're telling me like Joe goes, "Hey, I'm about to die, and I need to do something with my gun." So he texts to his buddy at work, and he's like, "Dude, I got a gun. I'll sell it to you for $200." And then we just I'll continue to keep it in my name. You can now own my gun, and you're paying for it, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it in
I would
my
have
name
to say,
because I already know I'm
of the
going to
gun
die.
crimes that are solved,
Is that it?
and this is coming out of my ass, but I bet less than 0.1% are solved by tracing a gun from the owner to the murderer. That's just not the way gun murders are solved. And ballistics, that's
Well,
almost
there's
bullshit science, too.
there's other factors. That was like to ask about the tracing of gun. I'm not fucking necessarily meaning murders.
In New Hampshire.
It could be any other gun crime.
In New Hampshire, I bought
Fuck.
a 45 from my roommate, and what we did was we went down to the gun store, and
God.
we did
Did
the
you-
transaction in front
Did you
of
actually?
the gun.
Because you didn't
Buy it.
still want it in your name.
when you did that.
No,
Because you didn't still want it in your name,
no,
right?
because he didn't want it in his
Or
name.
he didn't want it in his name. Okay, yeah, but that's what I would be like. I don't know what you're going to use this gun for. I don't fucking want it in my name anymore.
Exactly. And you know what?
So
That
how
gun- that gun-
how do you get guns if you went through all that process? If you just kept keeping it like on an underground system and just kept changing hands like that, eventually, what would you do when people needed to add more guns into it? Where would you get the new ones from? Where do you get the new guns from?
And
Or do you have to just stick with the old ones?
You know what? And I had a fucking roommate with a fucking shitty ass fucking girlfriend who fucking stole a gun, brought it up to Vermont, I suspect, and traded it for weed.
Did you report it stolen?
I reported it stolen.
Did you have the numbers?
Yes,
Well,
because
then
the gun was registered.
When that gun, it doesn't matter. When that gun with that serial number gets reported stolen, the next poor bastard that tries to register it, at least he's going to lose the gun, and he's probably going to have an afternoon answering questions.
So then, fucking, if I didn't do that transaction in the gun store,
Did you get your
how
gun?
did they know?
Did you
that
get your gun
fucking-
back?
No.
Well, it sounds to me like the cops are pretty ineffectual. I count on the laziness and stupidity of our government officials and asking them to help me with my
Yes,
problems.
and you know what the police told me when I fucking reported? They told me there was nothing they could fucking really do.
That's been my experience. Listen, all this shit we see on TV about cop shows.
I fucking got shot at and fucking nothing
I've
was
been
done.
shot at once.
right?
Oh yeah, you got shot at for reals, and that story is amazing to me. That even at their level of incompetence, they didn't. You got to prosecute that dude.
Yeah.
And what they did is
And he kept his guns.
They made a moral judgment about it. They said, "Well, the fucking guy's out there playing Jody. He deserved it." That's what they did in their brains.
The people, the grand jury that listened to it,
decided not to proceed
the guilt
with-
or innocence,
Because-
which is not their job. It's to decide probable cause. Did this person
Shots
do
fired
what
at a
they are
human being,
accused of?
You indict.
Is it probably this person
I agree.
that did what they're getting accused of? Did this person probably do it? The grand jury that decided yours was doing guilt or innocence, which is not their job. That's the trial jury's
Okay.
job.
I mean, I feel this way. I don't know what I would really do if it really came up, but I believe that there are people more adamant about their gun rights than me. But let me tell you what, I'm not going to live in a country where I won't have my guns. I will not live in
No
that
one's
country.
saying that.
Because they will kill me that day.
No one is saying that.
Do you want? I did after I got shot at. Somebody
Peed your pants?
no.
That's what I would have done.
Somebody lent me a gun, and I carried that gun with me, even though it wasn't registered to me, because I was afraid that motherfucker would fucking try it again, and then, hey,
Your
whatever.
your concepts of gun registration baffle me.
How is that fucking? That's what you do to register a gun.
To get it off your responsibility
Listen,
too. That would be my
That's
idea.
not- that's not-
I'd be like, I'm not
That's-
selling it to you unless my name comes off
I
this
think-
motherfucker.
I
I don't want to deal with whatever.
I think we're
What if you do something
overmodulating
stupid?
on this
Oh, for
podcast.
God's sakes. I don't give a shit what you do after I leave. I know I wasn't there. I don't care what you do.
All right.
Well, I shouldn't say I don't care what
All
you
right.
do. Certainly I
I
don't
But
care.
you
fucking-
can still get questioned. Who wants to even deal with
Who's
that?
going to sell a gun to an asshole? I don't sell
Well, you
guns
don't-
to
and
assholes.
not everybody knows-
Some scumbag comes to me all doped up and says,
Sometimes-
I go to a gun show
Dude.
and fucking the guys go, "Hey, are you an asshole or not?"
I know.
Let me tell you what,
Who
you've never-
determines who's an asshole? Of course, nobody likes assholes. Sometimes you don't find out people
And
are
you know what?
assholes till years down the road. Like this one dude I work with.
and like in the Las
He's an
Vegas
asshole.
shooter,
Always thought he was cool.
like the Las Vegas shooter, when he had like fucking 35 AR-15s, I'd be going, if I was a gun store owner, I'd be going, this guy's an asshole. He has 35 of these things. What the fuck does he need these things for? I'm not gonna sell to him. He's an asshole.
Yeah, who would sell 35 of them?
Yeah.
What are you planning on?
No,
now?
I mean that's a good sale.
I'm starting a Boy Scout group. Okay, this is what I need: all 35 guns.
And I would bet, you know, if people listen to our podcast and we were like fucking popular and shit, like if we went to the gun show here in Kingman, they'd be like, "Fuck that! I ain't selling a gun to these retards," you know.
I like that no one listens to us. We can say whatever we want. Shall
how
I
about
do the 10 Commandments?
How about this? Okay, this bullshit of it's a God-given right for you to own a firearm. Where the fuck did fucking God come up with that?
Because of God, guns, and country. That's where.
Yes,
that's where
okay.
that God-given gun right
so
came
fucking,
from.
the only fucking thing that we can actually fucking go off is the fucking what Moses come down with a tablet with the 10 Commandments on it, and he fucking comes down like Thor and his lightning before he parted the waters, or whatever fucking bullshit that fucking story is of 10 Commandments. Okay, so let's go through these and see if there's anything that he's commanded us to have a fucking gun.
Okay. First one.
I
am the Lord your God. You shall not have strange gods before me.
And fucking that
Your
is...
Honor, for the record, I'm gonna drop the mean IQ of this table by about 30 points as I exit because this is nonsense. It's
Isn't he smart?
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
he
good time.
such a
It's
smart guy?
nonsensical.
Because he doesn't want to be
So
sacrilegious.
smart.
I don't get. Listen,
Hey,
I like
thanks,
to. I like.
thanks for giving us a little of us dumb folks a bit of your time.
I'm
We
only here to
appreciate
play
it.
the trumpet, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
only here to herald.
Have fun at your photo shoot.
Okay.
Bye. Have fun at your photo shoot. Okay.
Burning daylight.
So you
Cool.
you heard the first one?
Okay, yeah. You shall not eat strange gods before me. Then why do you
Pretty
fucking
narcissist.
worship fucking an ex-president? You see the flags all over the place.
Should we change it to I am the Trump, your God? You shall have you shall not have strange gods before
I'm
me.
a good God, the best God there is, people are saying.
God did the job before, but he didn't do it as well as me. That's why I had to come along.
Okay.
Everyone's saying no one's done it as good as you, Trump. You're better than God.
Okay, well, number 2.
Okay, number 2. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain.
These
Another
goddamn
narcissist
fucking
statement.
goddamn fucking gas prices, man. The fuck. Goddamn gas prices.
God damn it.
2. Goddamn cat.
Okay. Remember to keep holy the Lord's Day. So he has his own day, too.
Yeah,
now.
Sundays. Now, what do we do on Sundays?
Still very
We watch-
narcissist.
What do we do on Sundays? We watch football. This fucking Colin Kaepernick, man, go fucking kneel.
See, they don't watch football anymore, though.
Yeah, they still fucking watch football.
Maybe some of them.
Those goddamn refs.
The weak ones. The weak ones.
So that's taking the Lord's name in vain. Okay, so they're not on board with that one either.
So they just committed number 2.
2, yeah.
When they watch football,
That's 3.
they have to say number 2.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Number 4. Honor your father and mother.
And then you go to therapy and you blame all your problems on your parents. You know, that's what happens.
Kind of contradictory, right? You're supposed to honor them.
Yeah.
You shall not kill.
Then why the fuck do you need an AR-15? What's it fucking designed for? It's not designed for deer hunting. It's designed for killing. And if you fucking come for your guns, I'll fucking kill you. You come for my guns, I'll fucking kill you. Well, you're not supposed to kill. You're not. It
But
says it in the 10 Commandments.
but it's not the gun's fault, right? Because the gun
Guns don't kill people.
Guns don't
People
kill
kill people. And
People kill people.
What did that fucking little girl say at the March for Our Lives?
She told me that a gun saved her life. See, they can't
How
kill.
did that fucking happen?
Guns cannot kill people, but guns can save lives. They're kind of like life rafts, I think, maybe. I don't know. Maybe she floated away on it, like she used it as a flotation device.
Maybe she was holding it.
She
and
was drowning. She used it as a flotation device, and that's how it saved her life?
Okay.
I'm guessing. I don't know, because it's an inanimate object.
And hey, do you know what? We fucking won the argument because the pro-gun guy fucking walked out.
Because you don't leave. You don't
leave.
You stay and fight, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that their thing? Stay and fight?
It's just a fucking conversation. And if you...
It's just a conversation.
And you just fucking can't...
And we know that we don't know everything about guns.
Although maybe we're committing blasphemy by talking about the 10 Commandments.
We don't know everything about guns. We're trying to learn.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking questions like, why hasn't any of this stuff worked? All the stuff that the NRA keeps pumping out and promising us never works. Why not?
Okay.
Anyways, number 6, you shall not commit adultery.
But you sure as hell can elect him to be the highest ranking official in the United States.
Grab him by the pussy.
Yep.
All right. You shall not steal.
Unless it's a Supreme Court pick, Mitch McConnell.
Or if you're a businessman who did not pay your workers, isn't that stealing? You're basically stealing labor from someone, so you do steal. Yeah. Whoa, he committed that too. Okay. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor.
Okay, I would assume this is talking about in a court of laws type of situation. But isn't false witness saying, like, I don't recall? Of course you fucking recall. How the fuck could you forget that? Like fucking MTG on fucking January 6th. I don't recall the conversations I have. No, you damn well know what conversations you have.
Selective. That one's selective.
Yeah.
Okay. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife.
Yeah, that's why you're hitting them up on Instagram private messages, or liking their bikini pics.
Yeah, DM them. DM them.
Yeah. Well, isn't that covering your neighbor's wife if you do that?
Yeah, keep that shit on the down low, right?
Yeah.
You gotta...
Okay.
It means you're not supposed to be stealing somebody else's person, But
it happens all the time, though.
I know. These and by good Christian. Hell, what about Tammy Faye Baker? And didn't they make a lot of money with religion? Not her,
Yeah.
but Jim Baker was like banging that chick that always would come on Howard Stern show, Jessica.
Yeah.
I can't think of her last name off the top of my head, but he was doing that, and he's supposed to be a good religious dude, right? But he's supposed to be following these rules.
Yeah, you would think.
And now, finally, number 10. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods.
Yeah.
So don't steal their guns.
No, that's kind of like you're not supposed to be impressed by your neighbors or thinking, well, my neighbor has a better house than me. I think it's more along those lines. But then why is like HGTV like so popular and all those fixer-up houses and go, or fucking the one on MTV, they used to have cribs where you fucking look at these people's house going, wow, that's a pretty goddamn cool house.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that coveting your neighbor's house?
Being like envious of it?
Envious, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We are fucking guilty of all this fucking shit. You know, so fucking I don't see where God said, hey, fucking have your fucking guns. I want you to. I don't know. It's all fucking bullshit.
Nothing's
bullshit.
gonna change.
Nothing's gonna change.
We're gonna, I mean, automatically after this one, you know, and how horrible this one is, it's like I was like, I wonder how many days till the next one. That's all you really.
Yeah.
Sucks to think that way.
I pulled out that article we wrote for the Miner. I was going over it, and nothing will change other than we got somebody to register to vote that day, and that was the one positive thing that came from that. I don't know. Well, nothing's gonna change, and you know what? And fucking, there was a lot of passion, a lot of heat in this. Some people couldn't take it, had to leave the fucking room.
Yeah.
I don't think we were being unreasonable, and the point being is, if you listen to this conversation, the person we're having the conversation with wasn't hearing what we were saying.
It's because I get like all the passion on their side, like they automatically start building the wall up, pun intended, building the wall up, you know, like, I'm not going to listen to anything that you're saying. I'm not hearing you right now. I've already assumed what you're going to say because there was several accusations of what leftists keep doing. Like, all you leftists doing this. I'm pretty direct when I speak about the right because it's like, no, these are points that you guys bring up, though. You know, when they talk about like the whole abortion issue, it's like, but there are these points that you're bringing up where we do need to bring up points.
You know what? My dad had the best analogy for that, and probably the wisest thing he ever told me is there's two ways of listening to people. One is with giraffe ears, one's with hyena ears. And if you think about giraffe, what do giraffes do when they're trying to listen to prey? Or, you know, they're on the lookout, you know, like they're grazing and they're looking around for the lion's going to come up. Their ears are up.
Yeah, they go straight up.
They're up, okay? And you're listening intently. What does a hyena do? What do their ears do?
They laugh.
They're angry. Yeah, they laugh. They make that noise. But hyena's agitated. His ears go back. They're closed off. They're focused on fucking trying to get done doing the business that they are doing, which is to go kill, say, that fucking giraffe.
Right.
So when your ears are up, you're listening. And when you're getting defensive, your ears are back and you're not open to the conversation at all.
It's true. Like, that's a good analogy. Like, your ears. Dude, they close off. I mean, once they get so angry because they automatically start thinking. I mean, several times he took what we were saying as, we want to take your guns, us personally, you know, because we believe that there should be some sort of solutions. I mean, and I'm trying to ask questions like, honestly, like, of situations, what happens to the whole somebody originally got registered the gun. Unless it's an antique gun, then I could see, yeah, that didn't happen, or whenever registration actually started. But like, what would happen if we only had the first decade of cars that were ever invented and no new ones were ever added in? Would we have any cars left right now? No. So there's always going to be new shit put into something. Yeah. So yes, I realize that if you have old guns, maybe there is nothing registering to them back to that. Right. But how many new guns have people bought? Obviously a lot if we have more guns than people, and they're making all this money by manufacturing more and more guns all the time. I mean, isn't this just basic common sense shit?
You would think.
I'm just asking questions because I want to know the process of things. I want to know how things work.
You think it would be common sense, you would think. But the point is, we can't have conversations because somebody always picks up their toys and leaves the room in the middle of it.
They get offended. I mean, they get offended. And then so what they're doing by that, the same folks who complain and laugh and criticize about the whole cancel culture thing, you canceled the conversation. You walked out. You canceled it. You ended it. Cancel means all of that shit. You did all of that.
Let's end it on this. Did you watch the new HBO documentary on George Carlin yet?
I watched part of it, and then my stupid internet got all screwed up, so I haven't.
What a genius he was.
I know, and I watched they just recently came out with this thing called The Hall, where they're honoring 4 dead comedians, 4 great dead comedians. Who was it? Joan Rivers, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, and Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
That's a good one too.
One. Yeah, I wasn't so hot on the new Ricky Gervais special. You know, I thought it was. It was okay.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Maybe I did. I think it was because I tried to watch it last night. Maybe because of the news, I wasn't in the right frame of mind. So I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I know. I need to watch it again too, though, because...
Anyway, this is... we'll end it on this because George Carlin is a genius. Watch his documentary. It's 2 parts. It's like probably about 3.5 hours long. Done by John Apatow. Really well done. He was pure genius. I would say a philosopher, because the shit he was talking about 20, 30 years ago is so relevant today.
One of my favorite quotes ever from George Carlin. Men are stupid and women are crazy. And the reason that women are crazy is because men are stupid. Love you.
Anyway, this was George Carlin on the NRA. If I can get this to play.
Once. Uh-huh. Oh, God. Chuck steak.
Anyway.
Dang. Norman probably would have enjoyed that, right?
Yeah.
Too bad he left.
Yeah. God, just a brilliant guy. God, fucking Ray Liotta. God damn it.
That sucks.
Fuck. Anyway, so I guess we proved the point of this fucking podcast that fucking conversations can't fucking happen because it doesn't game works. Fucking no one's willing to have the fucking conversation.
Right.
And we got heated too. We had hyena ears too at times. But, let's mention, because we talked about March for Our Lives and our friend Stan Major had a stroke and he's in the hospital. And I have to fucking give it to that guy. When March of Lives came on, he wanted to do it here in Kingman. And I was on the committee that we were talking about organizing it. And I was telling him, there's no way this can be successful here. We're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble with the crowd. And he said, no, we got this. And the crowd that day was incredible. The amount of turnout. And yeah, there were some assholes, but relatively few compared to the positive turnout that day. So I think with guns, I think most people are on board that we want this shit to stop. We need it to stop, and we're fucking pissed off, fucking sick of it. And it's not about fucking taking the guns. It's just about, in this instance, the other day in Texas and in the one in Buffalo, maybe if we just raise the age restrictions there a little bit, they wouldn't have been able to legally get the gun. And since I tried to get it out of our guest, where do you go? People will get guns anyways. They'll get them anyways. Where do you go to get those? And no one can fucking answer that fucking question.
Well, why don't the gun enthusiasts look at it this way? We had the war on drugs. There's still drugs everywhere. You can still get those. You're going to still be able to get guns. So I don't understand why they think that they're going to lose that ever.
And just stop with the argument of, well, they would have used a car. They would have used, well, good. Go ahead. Let them try to use a car. Let them fucking try to drive a fucking car into a fucking school and try to run over fucking second and third. Good. Try to do that. You're probably not going to succeed like an AR-15 would. And I'm not saying ban AR-15s too. That's not what I'm fucking saying. I'm just saying fucking get them out of the fucking hands of these fucking lunatics. Or at least make it a little bit harder.
The designer and the inventor of the AR-15 said that they were never for civilian use. The person who actually made this gun.
I think we said that in that article we wrote for the Miner.
But it's like, but no one cares because America is freedom. You have to be able to do whatever you want, no matter who it hurts. And I'm not saying it like that to be an asshole, but that's the way that people perceive freedom. I'm not saying they intentionally do it, but what they're saying is,
right, like,
you're not doing any. I live in the free. I was promised this by living in America, by moving to America, whatever. I am promised that I am allowed to do whatever I want. Right. I can't do whatever I want everywhere else.
Like with the personal freedom thing. Well, the kids shouldn't wear masks in school during COVID because it's hurting the kids. Did 19 kids get killed in school in a single day by wearing a fucking mask?
Have 19 kids total been killed by wearing a mask?
I am sure. Well, I'm sure 19 kids have been killed by COVID. That's But
No, but was it from wearing a mask?
no.
I mean,
because that's just
have any of them died from wearing a mask?
it's just a bullshit thing. And we can fucking ban books, right? We can fucking ban books, but we cannot make a regulation to maybe make it just a little bit harder, for these fucking maniacs to not get this particular weapon. That's all we're saying. Anyway, on that note, we'll fucking wrap this up because it's fucking tiring. It's fucking bullshit. Fucking, hey.
And it's a no-win.
Yeah. We usually should say fucking.
The NRA has too much money and too much power.
Yeah, lobbyists in general.
You can't.
Our elected officials, and this isn't a left or a right statement. This is not a left or right statement.
No, this is a Supreme Court thing. They passed the law that it is legal for corporations to buy politicians.
Right.
Citizens United, they are allowed. It is considered free speech, and they are allowed to own politicians.
Our representatives do not represent us in any shape or form. They represent their corporate interests, almost every single fucking one of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a left or right statement.
This is a money thing.
And that's what fucking makes this world go round. All right, on that, we will wrap it up, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.